There are beliefs shaping your life right now that you've never questioned. You don't remember choosing them. No one handed them to you directly, but they've been there, quietly driving every decision, every doubt, every dream you never chased. Beliefs like, I have to earn love. If I fail, I'm worthless. Rest is laziness. It's dangerous to need people. These ideas don't shout, they whisper. They live underneath your habits, behind your anxiety, inside the voice that always tells you you're not enough. And because they're hidden, they don't feel like beliefs. They feel like truth. That's the problem. You don't argue with what you don't realize you're carrying. You just keep adjusting your life around it, playing small, overcompensating, apologizing for your existence, and you never stop to ask, wait, who taught me this, and why do I still believe it? Most of these beliefs don't come from logic. They come from experience, from the way someone looked at you when you spoke up, from the silence after you cried, from a childhood where love was earned, not given. Your nervous system learned early, this is what's safe, this is what gets me accepted, this is how I survive. And so, a belief forms, not because it's true, but because it protected you once. The brain, always efficient, holds on to that wiring, even long after the threat is gone. That's why some people panic when things go well, why you might downplay your wins or push away support. It's not self-sabotage, it's self-protection. But now, you're not 5 years old anymore. You're not stuck in the same room, with the same rules, waiting for permission to feel whole. Now, you have the chance to choose what you keep, and what you finally outgrow. But here's the catch. Hidden beliefs don't stay hidden forever. They show up, in patterns, in the way you overthink every decision, in the way you chase people who don't choose you, in how you shrink your voice in rooms that need to hear it. You think it's just anxiety, just your personality. But often, it's a belief running beneath the surface, whispering, don't be too much, you don't matter, you have to do more to be enough. And because those messages feel familiar, you mistake them for truth. That's how powerful belief is. It doesn't just shape what you think, it shapes what you see. You don't see reality as it is, you see it as your beliefs allow you to. That's why two people can live the same moment and walk away with two entirely different stories. One sees danger, the other sees opportunity. Same world, different lens. Changing your beliefs doesn't start with shouting affirmations in the mirror. It starts with noticing, catching the moment you shrink, the moment you apologize for existing, the moment you say yes when your whole body screams no. Those aren't random, they're signals. Clues pointing to the scripts you've outgrown, and when you catch them, you have a choice. Follow the old path or pause. That pause is power. That's where transformation starts, because in that space, you can question the belief. Ask, who gave this to me? What's it trying to protect me from? Do I still want to live by this? You don't change beliefs by force. You change them by curiosity, by compassion, by repetition, and the more often you interrupt the pattern, even slightly, the more your brain learns something new. That safety isn't in obedience to old fears, it's in truth. Rewriting a belief isn't glamorous. It's not one big moment of clarity. It's 100 small ones. It's choosing not to shrink, even when you feel awkward. It's letting someone care about you, even when your brain screams they'll leave. It's saying no, not because it feels good, but because it's true. Every time you act against the old script, you prove to your brain that the world didn't end, that maybe you can be enough without overachieving, that maybe rest doesn't equal worthlessness, that maybe being seen doesn't have to feel unsafe. Slowly, belief starts to shift, not because you forced it, but because you lived differently. And that lived experience starts to carry more weight than the old story, not overnight, but consistently. That's how belief bends. Through action, through kindness, through the quiet decision to stop letting fear be your compass. One day, without realizing it, you respond differently. You speak up without rehearsing. You rest without guilt. You let someone see the real you, and you don't flinch. That's the moment the new belief clicks. Not as a mantra, but as reality. You start to understand that your value isn't something to prove, it's something you carry. That love isn't something you chase, it's something you deserve. That your needs, your voice, your boundaries matter. And you realize, the old beliefs weren't truth, they were protection, armor you wore for years. But now, you're strong enough to take it off, to stand there, unguarded, not because you're fearless, but because you're finally tired of living someone else's version of you. This isn't about becoming someone new, it's about returning to who you were before the world told you otherwise. And when that shift happens, you don't need permission anymore. You stop waiting for someone to validate your worth, to tell you you're good enough, smart enough, lovable enough. You already know, not in a loud, performative way, but in a quiet, grounded way. It's in the choices you make, the things you no longer tolerate, the spaces you no longer shrink to fit into. You walk differently, not because life suddenly got easier, but because you stopped negotiating your value with it. You started showing up as someone who belongs, not someone trying to earn their place. That's what new beliefs do. They don't just change how you think, they change how you carry yourself, how you speak, who you let close, what you build. You realize you're not broken, you were just taught beliefs that broke your spirit. And now, finally, you're rewriting the story. Because the truth is, your life doesn't rise to the level of your goals, it falls to the level of your beliefs. And no matter how much you hustle, heal, or hope, if the core belief underneath it all is, I'm not enough, it will quietly sabotage every win. That's why the work isn't just mindset, it's excavation, digging out what never belonged to you in the first place, the guilt, the pressure, the shame you mistook for responsibility. You get to set it down now. You get to live by your own values, not the ones fear handed you. You get to choose beliefs that expand you, not contain you, that speak to who you are, not who you had to be to survive. That's not just healing, that's liberation. So here's the question. If you stopped living by the beliefs that hurt you, who would you finally become?